Pound for Pound Sports Entertainment. Here we go again. Here we go with the craziness of boxing. Things are on, things are off. But anyway, Pound for Pound Sports Entertainment. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It's your host, F. Merritt. We're going to get to it like we always do. Bad news in the sport of boxing. Jaron Ennis versus Vergil Ortiz is off. That's right. It's off. It's off. Multiple reports are reporting it. Apparently, these guys were supposed to fight on the Riyadh season card, the big 5-on-5 Oscar De La Hoya against Matchroom boxing card. I believe February 22nd over in Saudi Arabia. Oh, it was a hell of a card. It was a hell of a card, not gonna lie. But in this situation with Jaron Ennis and Vergil Ortiz, I would have loved to seen that fight. That's a great fight. But it's miscommunication on both sides. Vergil Ortiz team said they they want the fight. Let's make it happen, blah, 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 all that crap. But at the same time, Jaron Ennis, it seems like a lot of people are trying to label him a duck for ducking Vergil Ortiz. And I don't think he's ever officially ducked Vergil Ortiz. I don't believe Vergil Ortiz officially ever ducked Jaron Ennis. Things are not lining up. Now, number one, let's be honest. And we're going to break the Eddie Hearn thing down too. But let's be honest. Jaron Ennis just fought 2 weeks ago, man. And if he fights on the February 22nd card, this will be his third fight in 7 months. Really think about that. Your favorite fighter ain't fighting 3 times a year, let alone 3 times in 7 months. So that right there is ridiculous. He just went 12 rounds with the rematch with Hearn. We don't know how he was reacting. We don't know if he suffered any injuries. But you were asking this man to come off a 12-round fight against Hearn, jump right back into training camp, not knowing if he has any injuries or whatever like that, but jump right back into training camp, cut weight again, training camp. Not only, like I said, the fight is in Saudi Arabia, so now he's got to go over there to Saudi Arabia or somewhere close to it, get acclimated to the weather, probably 1 or 2 weeks out from the fight. Come on, man. And Vergil Ortiz, he hasn't fought since August. And let's not compare performances, because Jaron Ennis, he won his fight, dominating fashion. Could have possibly done better in other people's eyes, but he got a knockdown and he dominated the fight. Vergil Ortiz, on the other hand, was over there struggling for life. Let's be honest, he got dropped 2-3 times in his fight. Okay, I believe he moved up to what, 154, 160, something like that, because he could not make 147 anymore. He had several issues making 147, pulling out of fights several times. So that's number one. Well, that's number two. Number three, I think this whole thing was kind of orchestrated by Mr. Eddie Hearn. Now, when I break this down to you, it's all gonna make sense. Now, number one, Jaron Ennis is signed to Eddie Hearn in Matchroom Promotions, right? Fights on the zone. Cool, great. 3-fight deal was what he had. If he fights Vergil Ortiz, if Boots fights Vergil Ortiz February 22nd, that would be the 3rd fight on his 3-fight deal with Matchroom. That's number one. Number two, allegedly, the fight was constructed for 147 pounds. And this wasn't from Boots' team. This wasn't from Eddie Hearn. This was from Turki Al-Sheikh. He put the offer out there, 147 pounds. I posted one of my last videos. I posted the link in the description of the interview that Mr. Eddie Hearn did, where he said something about, Turki Al-Sheikh put the offer in or whatever like that, fight at 147 pounds, Vergil Ortiz. And the interviewer actually asked Eddie Hearn, can Vergil even make 147 anymore? We don't know. We don't know. But listen, that right there told me this fight's not going to happen. If the fight was to happen at 54, I think it'd be great. But why would you put Vergil Ortiz and Jaron Ennis at 154 pounds with no title on the line? That makes no sense. Now, if you guys want the money, that's cool. Great. Go get your money. No problem. But no title on the line. You got Vergil at 154. Perfect. Boots would have to move up to 154, meaning he would have to give up his IBF title. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. Boots wants to defend his title. If he doesn't, and he hasn't made a decision if he wants to move up to 154 pounds. But the first fight at 154 pounds, you want me to go take on Vergil Ortiz? Why wouldn't I go take on the guy that just defeated Tim Tszyu and get a title shot? And then we can make, and then we could try to make that fight with Vergil Ortiz 154 pounds. Now, it would be my second fight. I'm more comfortable with the weight. Everything would be great. And I wouldn't be coming off of a 7-month a third fight in 7 months. That is a major factor, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm going to break down why Eddie Hearn was double dipping in this situation. Eddie Hearn set this whole thing up, and Eddie Hearn is possibly to blame for this whole situation. Number one, Eddie Hearn didn't even have to talk about a possible Vergil Ortiz and Jaron Ennis fight. Number one, Eddie Hearn benefits from Vergil Ortiz and Jaron Ennis being on this 5 versus 5 card with Matchroom and Golden Boy, because guess what? It gives him a better opportunity to win the fight. If Boots beats Vergil, that's one victory that Mr. Eddie Hearn would have over Oscar De La Hoya. Another thing, that's a bigger check for Mr. Eddie Hearn. So guess what? I need the best fighters on here. I got to get this money. That's number 2. Okay, now, I think Eddie Hearn started this whole thing because he knows that Jaron Ennis doesn't know if he wants to stay at 47 or 54. He knows that. So let's put the pressure on Jaron Ennis publicly from the fans, from the boxing fans, right? To force him to go up to 54. And forcing him to go up to 54, he would have to drop that IBF title at 147 pounds. Now, if Jaron Ennis stays at 147 pounds, I can play double agent because I have Jaron Ennis signed to me and Conor Benn signed to me. So like when I say double agent, I'm saying Mario Barrios and Conor Benn have been negotiations for the WBC title. So if Boots moves up, we have a vacant IBF title. That's an option for Conor Benn to go. Or if Boots moves up, then we can try to make Conor Benn and Mario Barrios, right? If Boots stays at 147 pounds, he wants to unify. He's said that multiple times. It's either unification or we're moving up. He said that. So if I'm already in negotiations with Conor Benn and Mario Barrios, and Boots decides to stay at 147 pounds, but doesn't get the Mario Barrios fight, it's like it's a conflict of interest. It's like, damn, you're supposed to be my promoter as well, as long with Conor Benn, but I have a title. I put everything on the table what I want. Conor Benn just got cleared from UCAD or whatever the situation is with that. He wants a big fight. So it's like now we can kind of, okay, well, we can send an offer, send Mario Barrios an offer for Boots, like, hey, we can give you this much. Oh, you don't want that? You want some more? Okay, I'll give you some more for Conor Benn. Either way, Eddie Hearn wins in this situation. That's why I think he honestly put everything out there like, oh, we got this fight with Vergil Ortiz and Jaron Ennis. He knows Jaron Ennis probably isn't going to be ready in that short amount of time to jump right back in there. Let's be honest. He knows that. But the perception, the opinion of the public and the boxing fans, I think it's either and that's why Vergil Ortiz, Oscar De La Hoya, they all been like, oh, we signed our contract, we ready to go. We want this fight, we not ducking, blah, 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 blah. But now everybody seems like they're looking at Boots. First of all, they're already mad about the last performance. Everybody thought he should have gotten Karen up out of there. That's number one. Number two, now they're going to be looking like, oh, we got to wait again. Oh, this was the best card ever. Oh, Boots pulled out. I knew he was ducking Vergil. This is like the third time. We've been wanting to see this fight. It's not Boots' fault. Don't put the blame on Boots. It's the business of boxing. It's timing. It's the weight. Okay? If you really want to be honest, get mad at Vergil for not being able to make 147 pounds anymore. But guess what? We can't say anything because he's at 54 now. He's active. And he's out the way of 147 pounds. So if Boots wants to move up to 154 pounds, go do it. If he didn't suffer any damage in his last fight and can make the weight comfortably, no issues in training camp, and he's ready to go back in there and get this money, go do it. Cool. But right now, as of right now, according to multiple reports, the fight is off with Vergil Ortiz and Jaron Ennis. A lot of people are going to say you can blame Eddie Hearn for that, for opening his big fat mouth and double dipping, but it is what it is. This is the business of boxing. When you hear a rumor, ladies and gentlemen, do not get ready to, oh, it's official, it's done. Things change in boxing, and I hate this thing about boxing. Let's talk about the fights that are official. Let's stop talking about the rumors and all this bull crap, because I'm tired of being disappointed. The fans are tired of being disappointed. We just want the fights. But we have to break down why these fights are not happening. With that being said, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Once again, I'm going to say it again. Jaron Ennis versus Vergil Ortiz. is off. It is not happening. It is done according to multiple reports. It is what it is. You can blame who you want to blame. It does not matter. It's not going to make the fight happen just because you are out here blaming people, this side, that promoter, whatever like that. It is what it is. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. It's your host, F. Merrick, Pound for Pound Sports Entertainment. I'm out.